Hello everyone, it's Ozerafon here, and today I will be reviewing all of the races from the Clash to Atlanta. What I will be doing is reviewing the race and see if my winner picks one for each of the races, and if I was correct. So let's start off with the Clash. The Clash is now being run in the days since 2017. Both races in 2017 and 2018 were absolutely boring at one time or another. So hopefully this one will be better. Paul Menard for Wood Brothers Racing starts on the pole after crew chief Greg Irwin drew the number one starting position, and Kyle Busch starts second. The green flag is in the air, and lap 1 has a lot of great racing. Kyle Busch takes the lead from Paul Menard, but Paul Menard takes it back. But after about 5 laps, the car started going train racing, single file, the best type of racing ever. Thankfully, the caution comes out for rain to end this boring race already. So after about 20 minutes, the rain is gone and the track is dry and we're ready to go back racing. In 3 laps, we're already back to single file racing. Amazing. Thankfully, Nascar throws a competition caution at lap 25, so now we can stack the field back up and go back racing, hopefully stay too wide this time. Daniel Suarez gets a pit road penalty. Question for the season: has the bad luck from Joe Gibbs Racing come to Stewart-Haas Racing? We shall see. Eric Almirola was also penalized for speeding. Great start to his season. Now, Paul Menard leads them to green for the 3rd time today. Certainly, this is a very good start of the season for Paul Menard. He has already led 29 laps at this point in the race, and so far, it looks like Joey Meyer is a big help for Paul Menard. We'll see if he fades again just like last year when he went for the playoffs after 10 races to finishing 19th in points. The first lap back in green flag racing was good, but after 3 laps, you guessed it, we're back single file racing. How original. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez makes a nice move to get past Martin Truex Jr. That was probably the highlight of this boring race until the end. See guys, this is the kind of racing us fans need if you want to run single file. If not, then just go too wide. The caution comes out again for rain again. Another little delay for the car, and the cars have been pulled down pit road again, and the red flag comes out again. Paul Menard again leads them back to green. Let's see how many laps we can stay too wide throughout the field. Now you can tell that this is the end of the race. A strong inside line. Also, Daniel Suarez bad luck update. A move. He tried to make a move, and Noah went with him, and he fell all the way back to 20th. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney and more were trying to make the inside lane work, but it didn't end well. Jimmy Johnson trying to make a move for the lead, and Menard tries to block, and they make contact. Johnson wrecks the entire field basically. Among the destroyed include Paul Menard, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Newman, and Jamie McMurray. After this huge wreck, the rain starts up again, and this time we end the race, and Jimmy Johnson wins the Clash after wrecking the entire field. Good for Jimmy. The driver has won 7 titles, but has a new rookie crew chief and a different sponsor, and hasn't won since May 2017. He won the Clash, but just remember, this is an exhibition race. So the last time Johnson won a point race is still May in 2017. As for the Clash race, this race was absolutely boring. Single file train racing for about 70 to 80% of the race, and this also includes caution laps. The winner wrecked the entire field to win, a half an hour rain delay throughout the race, and on top of that, the race was rain shortened. I have one question for NASCAR. Why are we running this Clash in the day? Well, I hope the duels are a bit better at least. We are here in the duels hoping, and I hope this is going to be better than the Clash we saw. Well, we'll have to see. William Byron, the pole winner, who has nothing to worry about in this duel race, and Jimmy Johnson, who wrecked the entire field to win the Clash. The green flag waves, and William Byron leads up 1 and continues to lead after that. The most interesting thing in the first 15 laps are the green flag pit stops, and Martin Truex Jr. came to pit road by himself. That's concerning. After the pit sequence, Kevin Harvick, aka Appy Harvick, aka Mr. Where Did He Come From? Well, where Harvick came from is from having a very fast pit stop, which put him right on the brim of making it to the end. Matt Tifft had a speeding penalty. Hamrick, Reddick, and Priest all had difficulty on the pit stops. What a bad day for the rookies. Also, Brad Keselowski pitted outside of the box, so when he came to serve his penalty, he was too fast exiting, and he lost a total of 2 laps. Talk about insult to injury. Jimmy Johnson taking out more cars, as this time the victim is Kyle Busch. They make contact and around goes Busch. Good job, Jimmy, for causing a big wreck last year. Kevin Harvick comes to the green flag and takes the lead. How original. Finally, the first good racing we've seen all video long. No more single file racing. Now we see 3 wide. Daniel Suarez has been wild all night. He almost took out Martin Truex Jr. in the 19, and now it's gone single file racing again. Amazing. On the last lap, we see solid action with 2 3-wide racing, but of course, there was nothing up front. With 44 laps led, Kevin Harvick won the duel. Also, Parker Kligerman made it to the Daytona 500. Good for him. What an exciting race. So Duel 1 had solid racing rarely, but when there was good racing, it was pretty good. Hopefully Duel 2 is a bit better. So here we are in Duel 2, hoping that this one is way better than Duel 1. Teammates again from Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott lead them to the green. We start single file again. How much we've seen this in Speed Weeks is absolutely dumb. Hopefully the Daytona 500 can impress a little more than these. Hamlin almost gets hit by another car, but he missed it by a bit. Pit stops again, and Eric Jones was too fast on pit road. Certainly not the start that Jones boy wanted. After pit stops occur, teammate of Duel 1 winner Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, takes the lead and is looking for his first duel win. Let's see what he can do. Still single file, as we have normally seen this entire Daytona Speed Weeks. 2/3 of the way through, we see a bit of jumbling in the back of the pack of the lead draft between Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, and the lap cars of Michael McDowell and Eric Jones. Honestly, that's the best source of entertainment at this period of the race. On the last lap, Joey Logano goes past Clint Bowyer with help from teammate Ryan Blaney. Joey Logano won Duel 2, and Brendan Gaughan made it to the Daytona 500. Welcome to the Daytona 500, where the Great American Race is being held. Before I get into the race itself, my prediction to win the Daytona 500 is Brad Keselowski. I told you on my preview video and my prediction video. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. So keep an eye on Keselowski. I think he will win this race. After 3 months waiting for the new NASCAR season to start, it's finally here. The Clash, Duels, and Xfinity race raised concern because everybody wanted to be on the high side, so the races turned out to be single-file train racing. William Byron and Alex Bowman will lead them to the green flag, and the green flag waves, and William Byron leads lap 1. And the best thing of all, drivers are not just staying single file. The drivers on the bottom can make passes as well, which is a great sight considering what has happened all the Speed Weeks. As we can see, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is trying to make something happen. This is quality restricted play racing we are looking for. Stenhouse takes the lead and tries to show that he doesn't only wreck people, but he's here to win. Matt DiBenedetto in the 95 takes the lead away. Now that DiBenedetto is at a competitive team at Levine Family Racing and gone from Go Fast Racing, he can now show us what he has to offer us. Speaking of Go Fast Racing, their driver Corey LaJoie blew a right front tire and smacked the wall. For the 3rd straight year, Corey LaJoie is the driver to bring out the first caution. The second caution had Kurt Busch spin in front of the field. Darrell Wallace Jr. gets ran into the back by rookie Tyler Reddick, and catches up Jamie McMurray in his final career start and defending 500 winner Austin Dillon. Now the question becomes, did Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spin out Kurt Busch or not? I think maybe slight contact. So Kyle Busch ends up winning stage 1, which marks the third straight year that a Busch brother won the first stage of the year in the Daytona 500. 2017 and now 2019 was Kyle Busch, and last year it was elder Busch brother Kurt Busch. So in stage 2 we see solid racing for the first 20 laps, but then the field started to peel down pit road, and ultimately for the next 20 laps we saw single file racing. That is until the first group, which included Matt Benedetto, the race leader, came up on drivers such as Kyle Larson and Ryan Preece. That's when they realized there were about another 20 cars right in front of them. Right about then was when Parker Kligerman and Casey Mears got together and ultimately ended Mears' Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney, after playing a strategy, wins stage 2 for the second year in a row. So after pit stops, young William Byron, the pole sitter, takes the lead in Daytona. As we were heading to more pit stops during green flag, Rick Ware cars tangled and spin down pit road. These cars spin and crash into cars that have to go slowly to enter pit road. They also collect Tyler Reddick, who spins down pit road and takes out most of the left rear of Jimmy Johnson's car. Also, Ricky Stenhouse gets spun into by Cody Ware. So the restart happened, and William Byron and Kyle Larson, and William Byron takes the lead, and Kyle Larson goes for a spin due to a blown tire. Certainly this Speed Weeks has been a tragedy for Kyle Larson, as he was involved in a crash in the clash, had a horrible car in the duel, and spins out here in the Daytona 500. So the restart happens, and everyone goes absolutely crazy. Everyone wanting to try to get position. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin leads. Then Brad Keselowski spins due to a blown tire. So much for my Daytona 500 pick. This means that another restart, and this one is going to be even crazier than the last, because now there is only 10 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin continues to lead, but then Kyle Busch surges on the outside and takes the lead. Kyle Busch has never won the Daytona 500, so this will be a great chance for Kyle to redeem himself and win the Great American Race. Everything is great until Paul Menard gets into the back of Matt Benedetto and wrecks the entire field. Massive impacts all over the place. Among the destroyed include Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, rookie Daniel Hemrick, and Matt Tifft, Martin Truex Jr., and Chris Buescher. The drivers in this 21-car pileup with minimal damage include Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, the Roush Fenway Fords, and Ricky Stenhouse and Ryan Newman, Ryan Preece, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, and Ty Dillon. So after this wreck, we are back to racing with 2 to go in the Daytona 500. Surely this would be wild. On the backstretch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tried to drive through a gap and got into both Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson, and also takes out Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ty Dillon, and Brad Keselowski. Again, Brad, my pick, is involved in a crash. Great. Also, Ryan Preece and William Byron barely avoid a wreck. The reflexes of a rookie, I tell you. It's NASCAR overtime, which we all love. 2 laps to go to win the race. To win the Great American Race. Until Clint Bowyer takes himself out off the nose of Michael McDowell and brings out the caution, which adds another 2 laps of green flag racing. And we continue with NASCAR overtime. In this wreck include Chase Elliott, Brendan Gaughan, Brad Keselowski, Landon Cassill, who drove like a complete idiot to get through this wreck, Jamie McMurray making his final career start, William Byron, and again, Ryan Preece barely makes it through this wreck again. At this point, Denny Hamlin has taken the lead away from Kyle Busch, which sets him up to win his second Daytona 500, and he does. A very emotional victory for the second year in a row in the Daytona 500. And Denny Hamlin, who didn't win a race last year, starts off strong, winning the Daytona 500. So in my opinion, this race was great until the last 5 laps. The first 195 laps were good. You had side-by-side racing, lead changes, different leaders, and mini wrecks and one big wreck. But the last 5 laps were a complete wreck fest and took about half an hour to an hour to complete. It was a good race though. Welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we are going to be having our second race of the season here. Before I want to give you my prediction of who will win here in Atlanta. Kevin Harvick. Surely we can see Kevin Harvick start dominating here again. Here in Atlanta, and the aero package won't even stop him. The green flag waves and a surprise front row to start this race. We have Eric Almirola winning his first race, or pole since 2012, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The green flag waves, and we see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. make a power move on the outside and take the lead from Almirola, and Stenhouse led the first lap, but Almirola took the lead back and continued to lead. At the competition caution, the lead lap cars made pit stops, and Kyle Larson, who hasn't won a race since September 2017, takes the lead and dominates the rest of Stage 1 and part of Stage 2 until Kevin Harvick came in to challenge for the lead, and these two had a great battle that ran throughout a few laps in Stage 2 until Kevin Harvick finally takes the lead and holds on until the end of Stage 2. Kyle Larson takes back the lead and continues to lead again, and then he decides to pit until Kyle Busch blows the tire and brings out the caution. Kyle Busch this weekend has been an onslaught of things to go wrong. He spun himself out in practice, hit the wall, and went to a backup. Keep in mind, this is the guy who said that this package requires no skill and even NASCAR fans could drive it. This proved that driver skill is still needed to be able to drive the car. So then my pick, Kevin Harvick takes the lead and continues to lead the caution laps. And then on the restart, Harvick gets absolutely destroyed by the Penske train and Ryan Blaney takes the lead. Before today, Ryan Blaney has never ran a lap in the top 5 here in Atlanta, but today he is leading, and then Joey Logano took the lead. And then before pit stops, before Joey Logano and Kurt Busch made pit stops, BJ McLeod, for the second week in a row, causes an accident down pit road, and the victim, Ryan Preece. He was looking down at his tachometer to look at his speed on pit road when BJ McLeod basically stopped right in front of Ryan Preece. What a shame. He had the least amount of DNS of anyone in this entire field. So after the caution, only 2 did not pit, and they had the entire field a lap down. So after everyone took the wave around, Joey Logano and Kurt Busch, who is the new Chip Ganassi racing car, starts alongside. The green flag waves, and Joey Logano continues to fend off Kurt Busch. Meanwhile, teammate Brad Keselowski, who was sick the entire weekend, takes the lead, but with Austin Cindric from the Xfinity Series ready to relief drive. But with 10 laps to go, Brad Keselowski is still leading, but then he starts to slow in the last 5 laps or so. He said he was trying to save tires, but either way, Martin Truex Jr. closed up fast, and this might give us our second finish in the season within a 3/10 bracket. Truex tries to close up, but dirty air plays into effect, and Truex is not able to catch Keselowski. This is something we need to fix in NASCAR. How clean air is such an advantage to dirty air. So in my opinion, the new air package made this race way better. There wasn't one dominant car, but multiple good cars. The starts and restarts were entertaining, and we could have gotten a good finish, but hey, this was still a good race. Overall, in my opinion, this was a good race. So after the first 2 points races in this young season, we have Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski locked in the playoffs. Notable drivers in the top 16 are in points are Ryan Newman and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Notable drivers out are Chase Elliott, who is only 1 point behind Jimmy Johnson, and Austin Dillon, who made the playoffs last year, is back in 22nd. William Byron, Daniel Suarez, and Matt Benedetto are also drivers who are outside of the top 16. All 4, yes, you heard that right, all 4 Hendrick drivers are outside the top dozen in points. Wow, that's not that good. Martin Truex Jr. is in 12th place in points right now, even though he finished second in Atlanta. Eric Jones is in 7th, good for him. Denny Hamlin is leading the points after winning Daytona. I already mentioned that. Ryan Blaney is 14th after a 31st and 22nd points finishes in both the races in this season. And Ty Dillon is having a solid run this season. He tied his best finish ever in the Daytona 500, and is 19th in points right now. Those are some of the notable drivers. That will end this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment on this video, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. Share this video, check out this other content, and as always, thanks for watching.